us this morning is the secretary of the company, the person of Mrs. Esther Onoba. She's a legal practitioner and she's doing mighty and marvelously well in the real estate sector. So I'd love to bring her up this morning. Mrs. Esther, are you on this call? Mrs. Esther, are you on this call? Okay, I think she's not yet here. Let's have just a role play session before she comes up. All right, let me bring up our product of the day while we wait for our speaker this morning. All right, so many of us are excited to be here this morning. Our role play session this morning will be amazing. We'll be having a tweak in our role play session. And also, let me just quickly bring out this announcement. Something is happening on Saturday. Something amazing is happening on Saturday in Abuja. In Abuja. If you know what is happening on Saturday in Abuja, put it in the chat box. Let me see. Something is happening on Saturday in Abuja. If you know, put it in the chat box. What is happening on Saturday in Abuja? If you know it, put it in the chat box. All right, can we all see my screen? All right. So we are having a launch of our Garnet Resort City Asokoro on Saturday. Who is excited? Yes, Mr. Folari. If you are excited about this, put your best emoji in the chat box. Can you please unmute? Put your best emoji in the chat box. On Saturday, we are all heading to our Garnet Resort City Asokoro. So if you have your clients or those who are bought into the Asokoro to bring them all on board, all rolling to Asokoro to Garnet City. Let's go. You see how the
code again.
By the time these properties launch, the prices are going up. All right, so let's make it a day with us on Saturday, March 1st, 2025. We are all heading to Asokoro for the launch of our estates. And those are the pickup points. So if you're still thinking of joining, kindly register and let's have you join us on Saturday. All right. Okay, so let's do our Asokoro for our property of the day. Let's sell our Asokoro since we are having a launch of Asokoro on Saturday. All right, so let me bring up the flyer for Asokoro 2. And mind you, massive work already is going on in Asokoro 2 currently as I speak with you. So you don't want your clients to miss out on that. You want your client to miss out on that. So let's sell Asokoro this morning. How many of us are ready to sell Asokoro this morning? If you are ready, put in the chat box. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready. All right. Okay. Let me see. Do we have our Abuja branch on this call? Abuja branch, are you here on this call? I can see Port Harcourt, I can see Ikoyi, I can see Port Harcourt branch here. What about Ibejuleki? Are you on this call? Ibejuleki, are you on this call? Abuja branch, are you on this call? No, I can't see them. All right, so Ibejuleki is not on this call. If Abuja branch is not on this call. All right. Let's go to our Ikoyi office. Ikoyi, I'm not seeing your video. Yes. Mr. Kasim is ready. I can see Port Harcourt branch. I can't see Ikoyi branch. Ikoyi branch, are you on this call? Kindly open on videos. Let me see you. Let's have our role play this morning. Okay, Ikoyi branch is up. All right. So I need someone from Ikoyi branch. I need someone from Ikoyi branch. Yes, who is available at Ikoyi branch? Who is close to the mic? Ife, are you there, Ikoyi? Is Ife there? Ife, are you there? Can I hear you? Okay, Ife is there. All right, all right. So Ife, let me have you this morning sell Asokoro to someone. Let me see who else is on this call. Okay, Ife is here ready for us. All right. Ijoma, are you ready for us? So, Miss Ife, you are going to be selling to Ijoma. Ijoma, are you there? Ijoma, today you're a client, and I know you have the money. If you are available, kindly unmute. Okay, Ijoma is not ready. Mr. Folari, are you available there? If you're available, kindly unmute, Mr. Folari. All right. Is Mr. Folari there? No. Okay, Mr. Double O, are you available for us? Okay, Ijoma is at the BLT Park. Okay. Mr. Double O, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So Mr. Double O has plenty money. So if you can see Mr. Double O, your money is in the pocket of Mr. Double O this morning. All right. So if I sell Garnet so Garnet Asokoro to Mr. Double O, get your money from Mr. Double O this morning. You both have the floor. If
Okay, thank you.
let's go. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So, Mr. W, you are an existing client. So
Tell to Mr. Double O.
a new client. A new client. Okay.
Tell him to put on the video.
All right. Okay. Hello, good morning, sir. My name is Ifeoluwa Aladegbemi. I'm calling you from Gtext Holdings from our Banana Island office. How are you doing today, sir?
Okay, good morning, Madam Mister. How may I help you this morning?
All right, thank you so much, sir. Like I said, my name is Ife, and I'm calling you from Gtext Holdings. Gtext Holdings is a real estate company, and we have a presence in 3 continents, Nigeria, Dubai, and USA. And I called you to interest you about our offerings in these continents. Is this a good time to talk then?
Sorry, how do you get my number in the first instance? May I ask?
All right, sir. Thank you. Of course, we run marketing from time to time in my company, and we got some numbers, and yours happened to be one of the numbers we got of high net worth individuals in Nigeria that can afford our properties.
Okay, so what do you have on ground? Let me hear from, because I have a meeting by 30 minutes, so I won't be able to.
It's fast. Of course, we have amazing offers. But right now, I have this very, very amazing one in Abuja, Asokoro 2. And if you know about Abuja generally, you know that it's one of the fastest rising place to buy property in Nigeria. And then Asokoro 2 also is somewhere that a lot of attention is going to right now because of the environment, the landmarks that are there, a lot of activities going there, not far from Aso Rock, the CBN estates, the opportunities that lie there. And that is why there's this amazing offer. In my company, Gtext Holdings, we don't just sell you bare land, and what we do is lottery service plots, whereby we don't just give you land, we do things that will ensure a 100% return on investment, aside the land appreciation itself, because we know that lands appreciate actually. But then we do some things also in our estate also, that we ensure that, you know, in the next 2 years, you are really smiling more than any other person that has land. And what are the things we are doing? First of all, we are not connecting to the power grid.
Sorry to cut you in. My interest is focused on, you know, getting properties or increasing my investment portfolio in the axis of Ibejuleki. Why? Because of what is happening in that axis, you know, what government has as project over there. I don't have much interest in Abuja, so I want you to get more on that.
Ibejuleki is actually a prime location, and of course we have properties at Ibejuleki. But the reason I'm talking about Asokoro 2 right now is because these properties are on pre-launch. And my clients, they know this. I always advise them to go for pre-launch properties. Ibejuleki is fantastic. Abuja also is very fantastic, and it has a pre-launch offer. I mean, with your 35 million naira now, you can get it. And this land is actually worth 70 million naira. So it is just that you're going to be keen into it fast. Then we also have time to talk about Ibejuleki. These locations are very prime location. And of course, Ibejuleki is fantastic, but why don't we look at Abuja right now? Because we're actually doing our launching tomorrow, and we're going to be launching at 50 million naira. Imagine you're investing your 35 million naira right now. In the space of 24 hours, you already have an appreciation of 15 million naira. That's 50 million. And that's the reason it's 50 million naira is to give people opportunity to still quickly invest, because the land actually worth 70 million naira. And trust me, it's just that it's actually worth more than that, but you know, we just have to, you know, increase gradually.
Your mouth is sweet. Oh, easy, my marketers. That's at times you talk a lot of it. At the end of the day, now to do allocation and all that, you won't get anything done.
But
so I hope you're like that.
Amazingly, tomorrow we are going to be allocating to our clients. In fact, if you know Gtext Holdings, we've been in operation for 17 years, and people love to work with us. Check us online. In fact, I will send you links about us. People want to buy. I will send you testimonials too. And we are going to be allocated tomorrow. In fact, it's going to be amazing. Like, you won't believe it.
Let's assume that I even want to key in on what's it called? The money is not available for the launch. After the launch, can I still, you know, benefit from that opportunity?
Okay. First of all, you need to tell me how much you want to key into it right now, because this is not something we do for people. But I can see that you are very interested in it, and that is a good one. But you need to commit at least 70% right now. And I write a mail to my, you know, bosses, the chairman.
How come 70%? Sorry, 70%. I've almost paid all the money. We are talking about initial deposits. You can use initial deposit to key in, then I will spread the balance or something. Not that you tell me to pay 70%. I've actually paid everything if I pay 70% of the amount.
Well, 70% is still not. Mr. Gabriel, can you please?
Amma tells Manny bad things about you. That's just it. I don't understand, because I'm just thinking, like going out. That's what happened. I was trying to do cheers. Yes. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do cheers. Like, and then,
hello.
She's the one that made him not buy you that Lambo. Let me just tell you. I'm just like, you actually like real friends.
Mr. Gabriel, you are disturbing our call. Kindly mute.
They are not even aware.
Something embarrassing.
Uchechukwu, you are the host. Kindly mute everybody on this call and make me host of this meeting. Thank you. Let's continue our session.
As I was saying, 70% is still really a big deal. Like, it's still really reasonable. Don't forget that we're actually launching tomorrow. So this is just 24 hours. So people that come tomorrow will pay 50 million. So imagine me telling you right now that you can just pay 70% of that money. It's fair. But I have to still talk with management to get an approval of how they want it to be bought, because you can't pay beyond next week. Even if I get the approval, I'm not sure about it, but you can see the fact that you want to really get this, and I want you to key into this opportunity. Like my other clients have keyed into it, and you're going to be getting the allocation tomorrow. You're going to meet people like you tomorrow too, who will also be.
What's it called? The title of this particular property we are talking about? Yeah. What's the title? The title of that?
R4.
Okay, okay. And it's in this, what other landmarks do you have there that will attract me to buy this book? Because I'm not convinced enough.
Okay, we have other places there. We have Navy. We have CBN Estate there. I mentioned it earlier. We also have the Navy Estate also, which was just launched a few weeks ago. And like I also said, it's about 10 to 20 minutes from Asoro. Imagine that is the central of Nigeria, where the president is, and it's not far from Asoro too. You should know the type of people that will be patronizing, that would be looking for houses in that estate. You want to be able to service people from a particular class, and Asokoro too offers you the opportunity. It offers you the opportunity, and you need to take advantage of this. You need to take advantage of this. Are you there, sir?
What's my cost of inaction? I don't, keen.
All right. First of all, I mentioned it earlier. First of all, you lose the opportunity to actually you lose the opportunity to make about 30% immediately. I told you tomorrow we're going to be launching at 50 million. And then eventually, about maybe 1 week, a few days, it's actually worth 70 million. It's going to be increasing to that price. They're going to sell it at 70 million. So you've lost 100%. And that is not all. That is not
Really?
all. Hello?
Really? I've lost 100%?
If you don't key into it right now, we are launching this property. A lot of people that have keyed into it, they're going to enjoy this thing. That's why they are so excited about this property. And then because it's on pre-launch also, there are some waivers on these properties, documentation and developmental levy. So if you wait till tomorrow, you're going to pay extra 17 million aside the extra 15 million which you're going to pay. So you're going to be paying 50 million for the land, then extra 17.5 million for documentation and developmental. So
17.5, but what did I hear?
I didn't get the question, sir.
17.5 million for documentation? That's outrageous.
Developmental levy. Documentation is, and developmental is 12.5, while documentation is 5 million. I said earlier that we do luxury, we don't just sell you properties. So what we are doing in our estate is unlike any other. I said we are going on 100% solar. That is so fantastic. And it costs a lot of money. We're going to ensure that your property is secured. You don't want to wake up one day and then you're looking for your land somewhere, because this is land. Anyone can you just want to go there and take advantage of people. We will not do that. And we are doing a lot of things. It's going to be a resort city. There's going to be a golf range, a bell digester. 100% carbon, 100% carbon dioxide free. I mean, that is why we are charging what we charge, and we need. I was told that we need to round up, so please can you?
Okay, anyway, I really appreciate your call. Anyway, I will try and look into liquidating some of my investments. What you do, just send the account details to me so that I can see how I can pay into that 70%.
All right,
Thank
I'll
you.
do that right away with the subscription form. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
That'll be all. I'll send you right now.
All right, thank you, bro.
All
And
right.
you too.
Bye, sir.
Can we give them a clap emoji? Quickly. What an amazing session. What an amazing session. What an amazing session. Can we do that quickly? Yeah. Yes, put a chat, put a clap emoji in the chat box. That was amazing. She did absolutely well. Yes. Thank you. Yes. That is how to close. You sell the value, tell them the cost of inaction, let them see the value they are going to get, and you close. Good one. Thank you so much, Mr. Double O. Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa. Thank you. Never let a client go. Yes. Your money is in their pocket. Get to their mind so that they can put their hands in their pocket and give you the cash. Wake up. Don't sleep. Collect your money. Yes. All right. So let's quickly go. Our speaker is here this morning. She's ready for us, loaded, and ready to give us enough value. Yes. All right. So let's come up with Mrs. Esther Onova is here for us. She's a legal expert here this morning. She's the secretary to the company, and she's ready to teach us the legal side of real estate. How many of us are excited? All right. With a clap emoji, with your best fire emoji, we're bringing up Mrs. Esther Onova. All right. Ma, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Lekon. So don't waste so much time. Let's quickly proceed. Please help me share my slide.
I'm doing that now.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about what you should know about land titles. The Nigerian 1978 Land Use Act entrusted all the urban lands to the governor of each state in Nigeria. So in essence, what this means is that all land is vested in the state government. So this means that irrespective of any land that you acquire, one way or the other, you will still have to get, some form of consent from the governor. So exactly. So what this means is that the state government owns all the land in Nigeria. So if you buy land today, it's not yours completely until you receive permission from the state government. And then the certificate that the state government gives you would prove that your land ownership is now yours. So this could be in form of your governor's consent. So for example, if you have you do a land transaction and you get a deed of assignment, you might still have to go and register that deed of assignment so that the governor is aware that title has changed hands. Ownership has passed from one person to the other. So this is what it means in essence. So today we'll be talking about land documents in Nigeria. First of all, what are land documents? You know, land titles, they are legal papers that say who owns a piece of property. So let's differentiate. We have land titles and we have land documents. These are, you know, they can be confused, but they do not essentially mean the same thing. Land titles are the legal papers that say who owns a piece of property, while on the other hand, land documents are things like receipt, invoice, contract of sale, your survey, your deed of assignment, and the allocation you get after you buy land. So it is very important that you understand the type of land document that you receive after purchasing a land, because it also, you know, it also depends primarily on the type of land or the condition of the land you have purchased. So let's discuss land titles. First of all, we have our certificate of occupancy. This is like the most popular one. Everybody wants to ask. When you're selling, everybody asks you, your clients will ask, does the land have C of O? If it doesn't have C of O, that doesn't mean that the land is not genuine. That doesn't mean that the land is not, you know, it cannot be sold. C of O is just an authorization of land from the state government. So before you get C of O, there are other documents that you must have or you should have before you get C of O that would also show genuineness of the land. Even if you want to get C of O, if you do not have all these other documents, you cannot obtain C of O. You do not have a deed of assignment. How would you get C of O? You do not have a valid purchase receipt to show that you actually purchased this land from somebody. You know, all of those things before you now apply, say, I want C of O. Or you do not even have your governor's consent and you say, I want C of O. So all of this, they are processes to land titles. So C of O, popularly known as certificate of occupancy, is an authorized land document that the state government would issue to anyone, whether individual or organizations, to prove that they own ownership of the properties. So C of O is issued just once, and it is valid for 99 years, which is subject to renewal. So when, for example, I am a first settler, or I am the first person to get the land and register my title and get C of O, now that C of O would be in my name for 99 years. If I sell, whatever remainder of years that I have used would now be transferred to the other person. Now, what the buyer needs to do is to now go and ratify that C of O. So you cannot get more than one C of O for a particular land. All you can do is to ratify it to show that I am now the new owner of. What I'm transferring to you is 49 years. So after 49 years, it now means that you now have to go and renew it from the state government for another 99 years. So that's C of O. Secondly, we have excision. Excision, most of you might have heard of it. It's not so popular, but it's also a very important land document. What this means is that the government has approved that that land should be released to you. Maybe a land that is under global acquisition. Let me explain what global acquisition is. In land acquisition, we have two types. We have two types of acquisition. You have committed acquisition and global acquisition. Committed acquisition, this means that the government has a particular use for the land. That's why it is also very important that you do your land search before you purchase any land. So committed acquisition means that there is a specific purpose for that land. Perhaps the government wants to use that land for a road. They want to use it for drainage. They want to use it for canals. They want to even use it to build an institution. So if you buy a land under committed acquisition, well, so sorry. But that's why you have to be sure, first of all, ensure that your prerequisite is you fill in all the gaps, know the kind of land they are purchasing. Secondly, we have global acquisition. When a land is under global or non-committed acquisition, this means that the land is free to be acquired by any person. And now when you buy a land under non-committed acquisition, you will now apply to the government for excision. You can use your excision. Excision can also come by way of gazette. When the government release that land to you, it will now be published that this particular piece of property has now been released to so person, and you now have your gazette. That is also one land document. Or you can now get your governor's consent, whichever way. That's what excision means. Secondly, we have governor's consent. Just like the name implies, governor's consent, it means that the governor has consented to that particular land transaction. The purpose of this document is to confirm that the state government is aware that this particular land transaction has happened. So this is you buying a land, getting your deed of assignment, and taking your deed of assignment to the land registry to register it. Say, I have bought my land from Gtext, so I want to register it so that the government is aware that that's what governor's consent. You can also use your governor's consent, like I said earlier, to apply for your certificate of occupancy, whichever way. Then we have gazette. Gazette is a legal record, describes in detail a piece of land that has been cut off. May have first settlers or customary landowners. And remember, I mentioned earlier that all lands are vested in the government. Even though the government recognizes these customary land users, most times they would now say, okay, yes, we are excising, we are releasing this land back to the family, so that whichever way they have the right to sell, they have the right to pass title to whoever wants to buy directly from them. So it can come in a way of a gazette, and then the name of the community details. Sorry, it will just specify in details. And it's also good title. Okay, next we have deed of assignment. This is the most popular. You cannot buy any land without deed of assignment. Is the evidence that ownership of land has passed from one person to the other. So when you have a client and say, oh, does your land have C of O is not the ultimate. Do you have these basics? Are you getting a deed of assignment? I once had a client that said, oh, I purchased a land. I said, oh, what are the documents that you got? Said, I got a picture of the property. I got a sub. I said, did you get a deed? Did you get a contract of sale? Did you get any, receipt? He said, no, I did not get any of those. Then what can you use to prove that you actually bought this land? Nothing. So most times you have clients who are not aware. It is your duty as a realtor to educate them, to tell them that, no, that is not the ultimate. What you need first of all is we are going to give you a receipt to show that money has passed from your hands to us. We're going to give you a deed of assignment to show that ownership is being transferred from us to you. We're going to give you a survey plan to describe where that property is, so that tomorrow you can go yourself and say, oh, I bought one land, I don't know where it is. Your survey will give you the exact coordinates of where your land is. These are important documents that you need to educate your client that they would receive and the importance of having these documents. So a deed of assignment transfers ownership of landed property from one person to the other, and it is usually between the seller, known as the assignor, to the buyer, known as the assignee. The deed of assignment shows that both of them agree to transfer ownership of land as stated in the contract. The deed of assignment is effective as stated in the deed and is usually prepared by legal representative. Can be from the buyer or the seller. And it is important that your deed of assignment is frank. So your deed of assignment is duly prepared by a legal practitioner. Next, we have land purchase receipt. It is vital to receive a receipt for any item that you purchase, whether house, land, car, anything you purchase. Can show anytime money pass from my hand, whoever I bought the property from. And it is very important that when you're buying from any company, whether an individual, whether a real estate firm, you get your receipt. At Gtext here, one of the first documents you would receive is your receipt, and then we'll process your deed of assignment and other documents as necessary. And then that's what you have as your registered survey. So your registered survey, wherever you take it to check, to show that this location is owned and occupied by owned and occupied by whoever is owner of the property. A survey plan also shows that the land is free from any government acquisition. So when you take a property, that is what you will first of all go and see whether that property is free from any government acquisition, whether it is committed or not. Then next we have our contract of sale. Contract is just outline the terms and conditions parties involved in a purchase, so that it will show that they are bounded by this agreement, and it is also an important document. It's admissible in court. If we have an agreement to purchase land and we say, oh, I want to purchase land, I would pay you on this. We can execute a contract of sale, and at the end of the day, we'll now execute a deed of assignment. So it is also an we have right of occupancy. Right of occupancy and certificate of occupancy, they are quite synonymous. They're quite synonymous. In some states, you get the ROO, popularly known as ROO. This means that, the government has also approved the release of that land to you. In Abuja, ROO is quite popular. Documentations to the government, just as your board also. Now, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. The voice is going off and on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, we have a deed of gift. Deed of gift, you may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it, but it transfers ownership. No consideration passed, no money passed, and then you'll be given a duly executed deed of gift to show that I am giving you this land. So deed of gift does not happen by word of mouth. If a person is gifting you a land, a deed of gift will be prepared. So it is a legal document that also shows that ownership of land has been transferred by way of gift. Then we have a deed of mortgage. A deed of mortgage is a document that shows that ownership of land has transferred from the mortgagor to the mortgagee. What this means is that I have a piece of land and I want to use that land to borrow money. I would pay a deed of mortgage to say if I can repay the mortgage, then ownership will be transferred back to me. If I cannot pay this debt within the period that by this deed of mortgage, now have ownership of the property. So if the person is selling the land and has a deed of mortgage, that is also valid title. I got this land by way of mortgage. So the mortgage owner of the land, who is the mortgagor, can claim ownership of the land after the mortgagee has completed payment. So you can claim ownership back if you can complete payment. All I want is that the title of the land has passed to whoever owes you money. And that person can tell the land. Using the deed of mortgage as valid title. So before we conclude, I just did a brief difference between C of O and R of O. Perhaps you might have clients who would say, oh, what's the difference between C of O and R of O? You're selling me a land that has R of O. Why doesn't it have C of O and all of that? So like I said earlier, R of O in some might be issued in some states. And you can also use R of O to process a C of O, whichever way. Okay. I thought I saw some question. Okay, then C of O, it holds great significance. It's like the final title you can get for a document. It is issued by the government and affirms legal ownership of the property. And acquiring C of O, it's a very rigorous and expensive process. This is you applying to the government to say, I want a certificate, irrespective of all other considerations that has been furnished. And then you will now have a fee that the government will require that you pay to get your C of O. Validity period that requires renewal. C of O also has a validity period which is 99 years. Ownership rights and transparency. R of O in some cases might be subject to certain terms and conditions. Means that you have to regularize frequently. Unlike C of O, right now is still has subject to certain rules and taxes. That's why one of the possibilities that as ownership has transferred, the assignee will henceforth. Can you hear me? Keeps going up. That the assignee will henceforth pay certain rates and taxes to the government. So when ownership passes, the assignee will not have any obligation anymore to pay. Cannot pass. So certain rates and taxes will now be paid after ownership has passed. Okay, in conclusion, it is important that we understand and familiarize ourselves with necessary land documents in Nigeria so that you can know when someone is offering you a false title and know when you want to sell or when you want to buy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. If you've gotten value, type in the chat box. I've gotten value. I've gotten value. I've gotten value. All right. So if you have questions, kindly signify or put in a chat box.
I have
Ask
a
your question. All right, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Concerning the C of O and R of O, I've always, when I browse, check on it online, I saw that the R of O is quite restrictive. It does not cover as a C of O. So, how do you now, when you have a land that the document is R of O, so how do you actually convince the person that it is that they should get it? Because I believe that I've not met one, though somebody mentioned it in passing, but did not lay much emphasis. But I could likely meet one or two people that said, okay, I don't want R of O. So how do you convince the person that that is what we are giving on this property? And they don't be assured, even after checking online. Because if you browse online, you don't want to get a R of O. You want C of O. That's the question. Thank you.
Okay. Like I mentioned, I said R of O is still subject to certain regularizations. Yes, if you go online, you'll see that R of O may not be as what's the word you use now? May not be as extensive or expansive as a C of O, but R of O is also a very valid title, because this means that the government is also aware of this land and has given you the right. So it is a right of occupancy. It means that you have the right to occupy this land. But like I said, it is also subject to certain regularizations. It means that you may have to pay, just like you have the right, maybe you have the right to pay you're a tenant in a property. What do? You pay rent to have right to continue staying on that property, just like R of O. So the government is aware that you are occupying this parcel of land. And as it may be required from time to time, you may have to pay some certain rent, some certain taxes to regularize. But wherever you take it to go and check, you would see that there's an R of O on this land, and who is in occupation of the land. You as the occupant would be boldly written on the land in the land registry. So it may have some certain restriction, means that maybe you want to sell, you have to go and obtain the consent of the state government or whichever way. But it is also a very valid title. So when you have a client saying that you have R of O, why is it not C of O? R of O is also a very important document in some state like Abuja. R of O is very popular, as the Federal Capital Territory. What you get is a right to be an occupant of that land. In some cases, you may now proceed to use that R of O to get a C of O, whichever way. But R of O most times is like the ultimate that you would get.
Thank you so much, man. All right. Ms. Olatoye.
All right. Good morning, House. Please, my question is, what leads to, what do they call it now? What leads to, okay, I've forgotten the word. Like government taking back the land from you. There's a particular legal word they normally use. I can't remember it now.
Or revocation.
Yes, revocation. What leads to revocation of your rights on the land? Under what circumstances will will relocation occur? Revocation. Under what circumstances can government revocate your right on the land?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, let me just quickly answer this person. Is it illegal to sell a land with RFO as a document? No, it is not illegal. It means that you have the right to sell. It is even a document that shows that you are the valid occupant of that land that has been recognized by the government. So you have the right to sell. All the buyer needs to do is just to regulate. In whichever cases, any document you are getting, you just need to regularize or ratify to say that, you know, ownership has passed and change whatever name that was there to your name. That is what it means. So R of O, C of O, deed of assignment, governor's consent, whichever, you can always ratify and regularize. Okay, so back to your question, Ma. You said what makes the government to revoke a land? I mentioned earlier that in land, we have two types of acquisition. You know, all lands are vested in the state government, and we have global acquisition and committed acquisition. Sometimes a land might be committed, and you as the buyer would not know because perhaps you did not do your required checks or all of that. And then when it's time for the government to now make use of that land for the purpose that it is, you know, it has been stated for, the government should revoke. For example, you buy a land like what happened in Lagos State some time back, where houses were demolished and revoked because they were built on canals and drainages. Now, if you go and check, those people even said that yes, when they checked, it showed that it was committed and some drainage were supposed to pass, but they went ahead to pay in the registry to make sure. No, that might be very risky because it showed from the very beginning that this is committed. This land is committed to be used for certain purpose, either for a drainage, canal, for a school, for or road should pass in between, and then you now build on it. The government has the right to revoke, irrespective of what you have gotten on it. Secondly, like I said, even though you have a C of O, C of O is even subject to some certain rents and taxes. So it means that perhaps yearly or biannually or, you know, some certain period, you would have to pay some certain amount to the government, because what in essence, what C of O means is that the government is giving you permission to be on that land. So you have to still comply to some certain obligations that are expected of you. And now you as a landowner, you say, oh, I have C of O, I'm not going to pay. The government still has the right to review that C of O that has been issued to you because of failure on your part to act or not. So whichever title, it is very important that you adhere to regulations that are pertaining to that document that you have obtained. Somebody asks, how many years does R of O take? It also depends. Some R of O may be 99 years, 40 years, depending on how, like I said earlier, if you have a C of O as a first occupant or owner, you have 99 years. But when you sell and you've been in occupation for 10 years, 20 years, you are not selling that 99 years, or even though you have a C of O, you're selling the remainder of years. So it might be 30 years, it may even be 20 years remaining. After that 20 years, the new buyer has to go and regularize and ratify and renew. So same thing with an R of O. Any other questions? Any questions?
We have a question here.
Okay.
Okay, I heard sometimes that Gazette is the most powerful document, even more than C of O, because it can never be revoked. So how true is this?
Okay. Well, Gazette, like I said, Gazette, it's a document showing that this land has been released to that individual or community. But even you having a Gazette and buying, there are still certain steps that you need to take. You need to regularize. You need to, so if you have a gazette now and you're buying a document that has a gazette, fine, that's very valid title. But then you still have to, perhaps when title pass, you can now use that. Like I said, gazette, you can use that to obtain your governor's consent. You can use that to obtain your seal, whichever way. But gazette, yes, is a valid title. And then if you're buying and there's a gazette on it, what you need to do is that just go ahead, go to the land registry and register yourself as, the new owner of the property.
Thank you so much, Mark.
I have a question.
We have a question. Okay, quickly. Let's have the last question.
Yeah. Sorry, Ma. This question goes to you, Ma. I don't know. There are cases where maybe if an estate of a company has issue with the government, or maybe when the government wants to, make a development due to their policy or anything, and maybe sometimes they tend to revoke some estate properties just due to what they want to do, and maybe that property has a CFO. So, and subsequent cases, this estate have been sold out or maybe released to some people, but maybe because they have not done development on those estates. Now, how can a company overcome a challenge like this when it surfaces? Because some clients, they can be able to obtain the land, but they take time to develop the estates to their own beck and call based on their financial capacity. So how can a company, because I believe definitely as a company we have gone far in things like this. So now how can a company overcome this? Because sometimes clients can confront you with questions like this because they have seen cases where some estates have been revoked, or maybe they have obtained a property, then government now came to take over the place. So how can we overcome things like this, Ma? Thank you, Ma. God bless you.
Okay. To confirm, your question is, how can you overcome challenge of revocation as a developer?
Yes, Ma.
It still boils down to what I said earlier. For example, you as a developer, you are occupying because if you have bought a parcel of land and you have complied with the use and regulation of land, no matter what, even though the land, the government has a right over land, but the law still recognizes you who is in possession, you who is the customary land occupant. That's why you still have traditional rulers who have rights to sell. That's why you still have, chiefs and all of that. You still have your local lands and all of that. If you have complied, the government cannot just come and take your land away from you at all. If you're not occupying a land whose use has already been stated for industrial purpose, then you as a real estate, you think that you can, or who has been, and then even though these lands are stated as industrial and agriculture, and you did not go ahead to comply with all the terms and stipulations that the government has said you should do to ensure, and then you leave it halfway, thinking that, you taking people's money and all of that. No, you still have, that's why you have an obligation. For us here, we have an obligation to ensure that whichever land we are selling to clients, we do that stress. We do that stress. If we say, we will ensure that we go to make sure that the least obligation is fulfilled on our part, so that nothing would come. So we can be in occupation for 10, 20 years. We know that we are covered. So irrespective of how long you've been in occupation, did you comply? You have a land, you do not register. Government can see this as a vacant land because when they check, all lands are acquired by the government. There is nobody, it's not showing that anybody is in occupation. Why not? They'll think that land is free from any encumbrance and they will take it from you. So you have an obligation to ensure that you adhere to regularization rules and ratification rules, whether you are whether you are the seller, whether you are the buyer, whichever way. And then that's why, okay, yes, somebody mentioned compensation. Exactly. That's why the government will still recognize your rights as a landowner and still compensate you irrespective of whether they take your land from you or not. So you have that right. You have that right. So government cannot just come and wake up and take your land from you when you say you have not defaulted. Government cannot do that.
Thank you so much, man. We are out of time currently, and you've gotten massive value. Put it in the chat box. I've gotten value. I've gotten value. I've gotten value. All right. So let's call it a wrap. You've gotten value this morning. It is important for you to do likewise. You get it. You've gotten value. Also sell Gtext products. That's my emphasis, and that's what I'm going to end this morning. Doctor has given us so much value. We're getting all these trainings for free. Sell Gtext products. Yes, sell it. And don't forget, we have a lot of incentive for us. All for grabs. And we are having 2 days to go. We have our car incentive. We have our all-paid express trip. We have our dinner with Dr. Stephen. We have a lot of things to win. So you have a lot of things here to grab. Don't snooze. Sell Gtext property, make the commission, and earn massively. If you are going out there to earn massively, put in a chat box, I'm going out to make more money. I'm going out there to make more money. Today is Friday. As we're thanking God it's Friday, let's thank God and let's make more money. Let's sell the product and let's have in mind all the incentive we have for grab. Don't forget, Saturday is our launch of our Sukoro. Let's all gather there. As many of us are in Abuja. Let's go there. Let's bring our clients and let's sell massively. All right. I'm going out there to make money. All right, today we call it a wrap this morning. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Thank you, Gtext Holdings. Thank you, Gtext Associates. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Onoba Esther. And let's have a blessed Friday and let's enjoy the weekend. All right. Have a blessed night. Have a blessed morning. See you tomorrow.